we did it again. Verizon was just named America's most reliable network by Root Metrics for the 16th time in a row, proving once again that nobody builds networks like Verizon builds networks. That's why we're building 5G right. That's why there's only one best network, Verizon. Best and most reliable based on Root Metrics reports from second half 2013 to first half 2021 of 3 operators on all network types combined, not specific to 5G networks.
Shutting off water for customers behind on payments. I'm Valerie Bong.
Wall Street Dow Jones down 272 points. NASDAQ off 133. It's midnight.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Tom Foti in Washington. It is now September 11th on the East Coast, in New York, and at the Pentagon, and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, the first places where the world changed 20 years ago in ways big and small.
The Department of Homeland Security was formed after 9/11, and since then, its officials say it's helped dismantle many overseas terror organizations. But the man in charge of intelligence and analysis right now says the terror threat is constantly evolving. Acting Under Secretary John Cohen tells CBS News the biggest threats come from within this country, independents inspired by foreign terror groups.
It's a very different type of threat, and it's much more difficult for law enforcement and intelligence community assets to be leveraged in order to detect those types of threats.
Peter King, CBS News.
And one of the other really big changes 9/11 brought was a 20-year-long war in Afghanistan, from where the U.S. pulled out just days ago, and from where some Afghan refugees are now coming to the U.S., but not without problems. CBS News has obtained a bulletin from the Department of Homeland Security warning law enforcement that evacuated Afghans resettling in America could prompt a potential uptick in grievances by domestic extremists.
The bulletin noted that since mid-August, suspected racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists and white supremacists have issued vague threats against the federal government, critical infrastructure, and an organization involved in the resettlement of Afghan evacuees.
That was CBS's Nicole Skanga, and then there is this in suburban Washington.
A warning tonight for residents in Northern Virginia about potential measles exposure. The Virginia Department of Health says that 3 refugees traveling from Afghanistan as part of the emergency evacuation efforts were diagnosed with it. The U.S. halted all U.S.-bound flights of Afghan evacuees earlier today because of the measles cases.
That is WTOP's Ken Duffy. And still on the Health Watch, COVID-19 back on top of President Biden's agenda.
During a visit with the First Lady to a Washington, D.C. middle school, President Biden pushed mask wearing, vowed to expand testing options, and made this offer.
Once you all get vaccinated, you're invited to a special visit at the White House.
This week, the Los Angeles Unified School District became the first to mandate students 12 and older be vaccinated for in-person learning. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Mr. Biden's aggressive new push for vaccination and masking running into strong opposition from Republicans. In sports, at the U.S. Tennis Open, Novak Djokovic beats Alexander Zverev in the men's semis. If he wins the final, he'd have a calendar year Grand Slam of the Big Four of tennis. This is CBS News.
WTOP at 12:03. Good Saturday morning. We've made it through the weekend, everybody. September 11th, 2021. Clear, cool, quite comfortable this overnight early morning. Very low humidity. Low in the 50s, most of the area. 64 in our nation's capital now. I'm Dean Lane. We do indeed thank you for taking us along for your weekend morning ride. Topping the local stories we're looking at for you as we head into this Saturday together. The 9/11 terror attacks, the Beltway snipers in 2002, the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020. They all caused pain and suffering on a mass scale and led to a societal shift in many ways involving mental health. We continue our coverage September 11th, 20 years later, here on WTOP.
In terms of our society recognizing the need for mental health treatment.
Dr. Lauren Grauert is a Kaiser Permanente psychiatrist.
Those are some consequences, I think some good consequences that have come from some painful experiences.
While Grauert believes big traumatic events such as 9/11 and the pandemic led to advocacy and evolving perceptions, she says there's still far to go.
There still, unfortunately, is a lot of pervasive stigma around mental health and mental health treatment.
Christy King, WTOP News.
Check out more of our coverage on WTOP.com. Search September 11th. WTOP at 12:04. A warning this morning about the potential spread of measles in our area, even as we deal with COVID. The Virginia Department of Health says 3 refugees traveling from Afghanistan as part of the emergency evacuation apparently were diagnosed with measles. Potentially, exposure could have happened at one of the following: Dulles Airport, September 3rd through the 4th, or September 8th. The Stones Springs Hospital Center Emergency Waiting Room on September 6th or 8th, and the Dulles Expo Center on September 4th through the 8th. Go to WTOP.com for a complete list of places, dates, and times. If you've been vaccinated for measles, you are protected. Otherwise, contact your doctor right away. The U.S. stopped all American-bound flights of Afghan evacuees earlier in the day Friday because of the measles cases. Stay tuned. WTOP at 12:05, a deadly police shooting at Oxon Hill. As WTOP's Gigi Barnett tells us from the scene, a fistfight apparently ended with a Prince George's County police officer drawing and firing their gun.
He was kind of giving him the business. He was eating him up a little bit.
Residents near this Oxon Hill neighborhood described the fistfight between a Prince George's County police officer and a man. Minutes later, it turned deadly.
That's when I heard like 4 or 5, actually about 6 or 7 gunshots. They were quick.
Police Chief Malik Aziz says the officer was trying to remove the man from an apartment complex. He was recently banned from it.
He had some type of history of intimidation to some of the residents.
Investigators say at some point the man grabbed a bag and pulled out 2 replica guns.
The officer fired his service weapon, killing the decedent.
In Oxon Hill, Gigi Barnett, WTOP News.
WTOP at 12:05, D.C. police releasing the body-worn camera video of a man's shooting by officers last week. Police say in this case they had been investigating a report of someone pointing a long gun at the street.
We're just trying to check on someone. Can you open the door? We just need to talk to you real fast.
Officers' body-worn camera footage from August 31st shows George Watson speaking with officers twice, slamming the door and going back into his apartment, only to reemerge a third time with what looks like a long gun. Seconds later, Sergeant Jonathan Nelson shot Watson 5 times at the door of his apartment on 14th and V Streets, according to a letter from Deputy Mayor for Public Safety Chris Geldart. Watson died at the hospital. Another officer was shot in the hand, apparently by a colleague. Sources say an evidence photo of the gun recovered at the scene is a non-lethal airsoft rifle. D.C. police confirm Internal Affairs has launched an investigation into the incident. Megan Cloherty, WTOP News.
In other news this morning, a utility company says that on Monday this week, it will start shutting off water this coming Monday for Maryland customers who are behind on their payments.
WSSC Water in Maryland says about 92,000 customers are behind on their payments. Spokesperson Lynn Riggins.
It's an extraordinary number. We've never seen this many delinquent accounts.
The shutoffs are being resumed for the first time since the pandemic began. And Riggins said that delinquent accounts total more than $66 million in late payments. But if you're behind, she said reach out.
If people pick up the phone and call us, we will walk them through creating a payment plan that works for their budget.
DC Water told WTOP that they resumed late fees at the beginning of the month, but do not have a date yet to resume shutoffs. Valerie Bonk, WTOP News.
The summer heat can take a toll on the home you love. Good thing this fall is painting season at your local CertaPro painters. The perfect time to repair, renew, repaint, and protect your home from even more seasonal weather damage. The pros at CertaPro painters manage every detail so you can breathe easier. You'll be the pride of the neighborhood. Get your painting project started today with a free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feet Store, and you know what time of year it is? It's back to school time, and time once again for all of those after-school activities. Whether it's ballet or football, drama or field hockey, band or basketball, kids' feet need to feel good. Those cleats, sneakers, or shoes for band often don't do those young feet any favors. If our kids are going to stay active and healthy, then they need good feet. That means it's also time to take your kids to the Good Feet Store. Yeah, that's right, the young ones, the kids. Bring them into the Good Feet Store and let's treat them to some personal service. Our team members will measure their feet and find the right arch support for them. They can still wear the shoes they want, but they will have the support to make them comfortable now and keep their feet healthy for the future. It won't take long, and it could change their life. Go to goodfeet.com to make an appointment or just stop by the location nearest you. The Good Feet Store.